did that character come about?
Frustration, really. I was a frustrated out-of-work actor, and I thought, how can I make my own work? And I've always been fascinated in the job that you do, that it's that difference between the public persona and the private persona, because we all know as soon as they go cut that you're all there going, oh, better out than in, or whatever, you know? So, you know, we all know there's a difference between the TV version and the real
sort of
version.
Neutral version.
Yeah. I wasn't sure whether you were talking about Brexit, but then I thought you did that little move.
Yeah, so, I mean, and it's been fascinating, and a lot of people thought it was real to start with, and I've got a career out of it now, so it's great.
I mean, it's been amazing, just to say. Your videos are going viral, you know, all over, really, internationally as well. I've got friends in America. Have you seen this guy? Yes, I've seen him.
Yeah, I toured Australia and America last year. Yeah, it's great. It's been brilliant.
And what do you find, then, as you go out on the road, you're out and about and you're doing that sort of act? Are people agreeing with you?
People are agreeing with me, you know. I mean, Pie's pretty balanced about Brexit, but I think, you know, a lot of people are embarrassed, not necessarily to be British, but they're embarrassed by our politics and our politicians. And I'm embarrassed that the politicians that voted overwhelmingly to have a referendum without discussing the implications of that, those that voted to trigger Article 50 without having a discussion about how we might leave the EU in a safe manner. I mean, that's extraordinarily reckless, but mainly we're embarrassed, I think, about the politicians, not necessarily even the ones that sold Brexit as a panacea, as all things to all people, but the ones that said it would be simple. That was a lie.
But what's fascinating about this question is, are we embarrassed to be British, I think is the question that we had. Has Brexit embarrassed us, I think is the question. And our poll, Rachel, I think shows that something like 71% agreed and said they do feel embarrassed. But it's incredible because we often think that we as a nation are remote from our politicians. But when they stop messing it up, we take it quite personally, it seems.
I don't disagree with anything Tom said. I mean, I think it was a brilliant summary of where we are now. But I think what we're also seeing is a certain amount of international schadenfreude, of kind of, you know, tall poppy syndrome. Don't forget, less than 100 years ago, the British Empire ruled a quarter of the globe and 450 million people. And now we're reduced to being compared with the black hole that sucks in all energy. Yes. You know, everything is going into this, you know, politics, and Brexit has just absolutely sucked the energy and the light and the hope out of all our breakfast.
But should we be embarrassed? I mean,
no,
is that the right emotion to be feeling?
I think embarrassment is... It's led by sort of New York Times headlines that say things like, Britain has gone mad, you know, and what's happening. But look at it positively, counterintuitively. Actually, the economy is doing really well compared to the Eurozone. Britain is a sort of international theatrical spectacle. John Bercow is trending. Brexit is trending every single day.
All the sound like a circus. So fantastic. We've turned into a circus.
Wait, one more thing. Instead of saying Netflix and chill, you know, couples are texting each other saying, do you want to come around and watch a bit of cheeky parliamentary channel? And
Brexit and chill, come on.
The Johnson household.
But Tom, Cooper Bowles amendments on.
But Tom, there is a serious point, in a way that, although people are talking about whether it's embarrassing or shameful or madness, but people are talking about politics, which, you know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, that never happened. Especially amongst young people of, you know, your own family members, you can have this discussion, which in a way is quite healthy.
But when politics is going well, you shouldn't have to discuss it. When politics is going well and when your country is being run correctly, people can get on with
never the case. We're never in that scenario.
I think it's been brilliant because everybody's been politicised. Everybody understands, you know, what the polls are saying, where we are.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure anyone understands anything. That's not true.
You're mistaking our politics being interesting with it not being embarrassing. And I think that both are the same. And to be honest, when it comes to politics being a ratings winner, Trump wins hands down, right? You know,
and he's embarrassing.
If I'm ashamed of British politics for a day, I just go on Donald Trump's Twitter account for 30 seconds, and within 30 seconds I'm going, "Rule Britannia," because he does it better than us. I mean, I think our politicians are incompetent, but I don't think they're that interesting.
If there is some talk we may get a general election before October. If that happens, what do you think the turnout will be? Do you think people will be out there voting, or do you think people have just given up?
I think
Good
like, people are energised.
Well, actually, you know, Nigel Farage is saying that if there is a second referendum, that people who voted leave should boycott it, so to invalidate it even before it happens.
What an extraordinary thing to say.
Well,
anti-democratic.
Well, of course. I mean, I just don't think you can undermine democracy with more democracy. I mean, I think, you know, we are in the black hole of Brexit, and we have to find our way through this.
I think some of the embarrassment is coupled up with fatigue.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're a tired country, and when you're down at Westminster, what you realise is that the people who are making these decisions are extremely tired, emotional. They haven't had very much sleep.
Sure.
And actually, we all know...
They've got people from the side going, get up!
Yeah, you've got that.
And,
what I mean is...
my heart bleeds for them.
Yeah, but the problem
they
is, for the current time being, tired, emotional, drawn-out people who have been on a single track are still having to make the big decisions. You know, I know in my life, when I'm really tired, I can't choose which loaf of bread to pick off the shelf. That's how tiredness makes you feel. You can't make good decisions.
I've got a solution to that. If all the MPs just come out, bow their heads in shame, apologise, go their separate ways and go get a nice little job in a shop or something, and I'll run the country. I think...
Talking of who might run the country, obviously, Boris
Come on, we've got to ask you.
We've got to ask you.
Brother
That is
Boris.
an international embarrassment to be asked about my brother.
I thought you were about to
TV.
say an international embarrassment is your brother. Is that right? Is that what you were saying?
No, of course not.
Oh.
What about him?
But do you think he should run to lead the country?
Look, he doesn't listen. Whatever I say, he'll do the opposite. So if I say run, he won't run.
I mean, to be fair, I think that is embarrassing, and no disrespect, and I don't mean it this personally. I'm sure he's your brother by an accident of birth rather than by choice, but he was the man that sold us the snake oil, and he's now in line to possibly be our Prime Minister, along with people like Jacob Rees-Mogg, who looks like...
the interesting thing is about that sort of notoriety is that when you go down the street, everybody will know who he is. And that's true, isn't it, Rachel? You get asked about it because he's well known. A lot of MPs have become prominent through Brexit,
I mean, Mark
interestingly.
Francois.
Yes,
have you got a Mark Francois VT to show us? I mean, he's now well known, and people, because he's like a corporal off Dad's army or something.
Is this going to end well for us in terms of our reputation around the world? If we've got New York Times and various other people saying, Britain is eating itself up through its own embarrassment, we've got now until October. Can we restore our reputation?
My preference would have been, a bit like yours, to say, let's have a 2-year extension, send the MPs back to their constituencies, everybody wraps a wet towel around their heads, come back in 2 years. I think that you should have said to us, when you've got a plan for an orderly exit, rather than this utter chaos, and we will talk again.
OK. Well, we're going to have to leave it there. Tom Walker, thanks very much. I recommend you go and see some of Tom's videos online as Jonathan Pye. Rachel Johnson, thank you so much. And good luck to your brother.
Look at her face. Look at that face.